Oh, you wanted to learn how to be frugal? Just make all your coffee at home. Just don't turn on the lights. We walk around with candles. You're just not wrapping up enough. Now, obviously, I hope you think that was a bit of a joke, because it was. And while none of those are basically bad ideas for trying and seeing if they work for you, if you're getting stuck thinking that in order to be frugal, you have to be miserable, you are way off base. And I was too for many years. I thought that in order to save money, it was all the little tiny things that I needed to change about what I was doing. But once I realized that it's the big ideas of being frugal that really save you the money in the long term, I found that these 5 habits are extremely helpful in order to stop over consuming and start actually saving money every month without even thinking about it. So now, frugal really means to me that I'm being more careful, more intentional about why I'm spending my money. And every time that I go out and get a cup of coffee with a friend, or I want to buy a new book, I don't freak out anymore thinking that I'm going to just blow it all. When you think about being frugal, instead of thinking and living in a state of lack, what I want you to start thinking about is, how am I being intentional about what I'm buying today? And if I am, then go for it. So this first habit I learned was from the very beginning, when I was really trying to change my habits of over shopping, because I found that I was definitely a shopaholic. I was chasing that dopamine hit. And by the time that I got in the car or home, I wouldn't even remember what I had purchased. And oftentimes the bag would just get thrown in the back of the trunk, and I would try to forget all about what I had done. And if you're in the same place, then this frugal habit can really help you. So the thing that I learned about being frugal is that being intentional can really help you to overcome even your tendencies of being a shopaholic. And in being intentional, I started doing a few things. So the first thing that I tried doing was I went to stores that I normally would like, and I would pick up items that I would normally have just thrown in my cart without even thinking about it. And instead of doing that, I started by holding the item and then putting it back. And I know that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but if you are somebody who's actually struggling with overconsumption and buying whatever for that dopamine hit, it was really hard in the beginning. And I remember thinking, like, I'm missing out on this deal, or I'm missing out on this opportunity to have something that looks cool. And it felt really uncomfortable, honestly. But what I found is the more and more often that I would put myself through this exercise, I found that by the time I got even halfway through the store, I no longer remembered, thought about, or had those feelings of anxiety over that item. And so what that really taught me was that I was buying these things sporadically with no cause, no reason, and really no need to have these items. It was just because I visually saw something cool and thought that I needed to have it. In order to build a more frugal lifestyle, we have to start practicing being more frugal, just being more intentional about why we're buying things, and having those conversations with ourselves in the store, even when we look crazy and we're talking to ourselves out loud, will stop you from buying some of these things. The other thing that went along with this habit of being more intentional in a store was that I wouldn't get a cart anymore. And so now, unless I'm getting groceries and I have a list, I don't get a cart, because I know that with my brain, the cart is bigger. It has more room for me to just pile things in there willy-nilly. And if I only have my 2 bare hands, then I have to carry the weight of these items. And anything that is not intentionally on my list or already in my brain that I need to have, I'm carrying that weight, and I can physically feel how heavy these things are. And the weight of the decision of having to buy things that I don't really need has helped me to be a lot more frugal and intentional about what I end up buying from the store. If you're a thrifty sister out there like me, then this frugal habit hopefully will help you as much as it has helped me. But in order to be more frugal without causing myself complete panic, I decided that no longer was I going to compromise. I was no longer going to compromise on the fabric, no longer compromise on something that just wasn't exactly perfectly what I needed. And as somebody who's thrifty and likes to buy things secondhand, that can be more complicated, because often I would go into my thrift stores and I might have something in mind, like I wanted a soft white sweater. And then I would find something similar, but not exactly what I wanted, right? Maybe the fit wasn't perfect, or the texture on the clothing, which is big for me, wasn't perfect. But I would say, it's good enough. I'm just going to take it. No longer can we do those things to ourselves, because what we don't realize in that moment where we're thinking like, I'm getting such a great deal, this is going to be great, it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's close enough, right? We don't realize that we're overspending. And in the end of the day, it's not going to be just what we needed. It's not going to fit just right. And so we're going to end up decluttering it along the way, and we're overspending on things that aren't perfect. So for me, what I have found is that I don't mind spending a little bit more, or just waiting until I can find exactly what I need. Because even if it does cost a little more or a little more time, that in the long run is better than all the other steps that I'm going to end up having to do with this item after I bought something I don't really think is going to fit my need, is perfect. So, in being frugal, I've learned that it's not always about money. Sorry, the squirrel just literally scared me half to death. It's not always about money. It is about making decisions that will work for you in the long run. Because really frugal people aren't always thinking about day to day that $5 you didn't spend. They're thinking about in the long run, what are my goals for the future and how am I going to get there? Every tiny decision does matter, but in the long run, spending $5 more to get exactly what I need means that I don't have to continue to spend $3 every time buying something that just isn't working. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's get in an area that is really uncomfortable, and that's okay, because I was uncomfortable in it too. And that is the habit that frugal people have of talking about their money. And if you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, like I did, then that was so apropos. Apropos. That's not the right word. Gauche. Obviously, I need to look up my thesaurus. It was just not done, okay? It was not done. Nobody talks about how much money you made or what you're spending on, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just rude, I guess. And that's what got me into a hole, because then I was spending so much money and then I was never talking about it. And so then when that inevitable credit card bill would hit, we'd all be like freaking out, right? But the thing is, if you start talking about your money with your spouse or out loud to yourself, whatever, you start to understand it a little bit better. You start to see the patterns a little bit better of what you're overspending on and maybe even why. If there is a certain time of the year or the month that you feel a lot more anxious, that might be why you're overspending. And you can just be more noticeable about when those feelings are happening, what you're doing with your money. Okay, I'm uncomfortable. One of my relatives passed away, and when her husband passed away, she did not know anything about her finances. She didn't know how to find the deed to her house or her car or where her money was, how to log into her bank account. She didn't know anything. And I think as a semi-young person when that happened, I guess I was in my late 20s, it was definitely a start of a wake-up call that at that time, yes, I was still married, and I'm married to my husband. And he took care of a lot of the finances, and I was very comfortable and happy with that. I wanted him to do that. And then I realized when all this was happening, like, I need to take my power back and I need to know where all these things are. It's not that we can't share and help each other do all of these things, but I also need to know where all of these things are and, where our money is going into. And so that wake up call led to me, paying the bills and understanding where our money was going, and even like writing down then what I was spending my money on. And so we could have these conversations in the evening, talking about, what I bought that day, where my spending was. And really, I was the main problem. So if you and your spouse or the people you live with or whatever the dynamic is at your home, whoever, it doesn't matter, who is the person that spends the most money. At the end of the day, the more you talk about the money, the better you have an understanding of each other and why that other person might be overspending and what their like kryptonite is that makes them buy these things. But I found that it was really enlightening to me when I started talking more and more about money, that I actually started spending less money, because I guess I was more aware that I was going to end up having to talk about it. So maybe just have a few uncomfortable conversations, and that will help you out, because it definitely helped me. And now, where we don't talk about it every single evening anymore, it does help me, throughout the week, to just say, hey, I went and got this, or I bought this, it was this much. And it helps us create more of a ballpark of where our money is going. When I started paying more attention and trying to be more frugal, I realized that I was coming from a place where I was just like ungrateful for what I had. I also didn't know everything that I had. And so therefore I was always looking for the next best thing. And if you live in a culture like I do that tries to say that there are 52 seasons a year, they're constantly putting it out there that we need more because we are not in fashion or not trendy, or you need the next best thing, right? It's a constant cycle in our society to say, look at me, look, I got this new thing, it's so great. And while there's nothing wrong with spending money on something you really enjoy, not saying that at all. What I am saying is that when you become more frugal and you start thinking more about what your goals are, what the end game is for what you want for your life, what you realize is that when you spend more time in your home and you start even decluttering, which seems counterintuitive, but when you start decluttering all these things that you spent your money on and you didn't actually use or need, you just start to be more grateful for what you have. Over the 6 years of decluttering, what I realized is that as I was decluttering, it's almost like I was building this like tower of contentment. I like that. I'm gonna use that again. Tower of contentment. Like I started to realize that I was wasting so much of my time and energy, not to say money, on all these things that I didn't really want in the long run and not enjoying. And all this time buying things and then returning them when they didn't work. I mean, it's just like a hassle. It's a huge hassle to have to declutter. And so, one of my big goals in trying to become more frugal as a human being was just thinking that the more time that I spend in my home, going through my clothes, going through my things that I have, it reminds me how privileged I am to have all of these things, how grateful I need to be with what I have. And that doesn't mean that, frugal people don't have amazing goals and things they want to achieve and all that stuff. It has nothing to do with that. But when you're truly trying to change your mindset and be more frugal, the big thing at the end of the day is, can you be happy with what you have? Because if you can be happy with what you have, the money will just start piling up. You'll just start saving more and more as you become happier with what you have. And you'll realize that your goals are being reached. You'll realize that things that you wanted for your life are now possible, because all the other things that you used to think you absolutely had to have because everyone else did just don't matter as much. So at the end of the day, what I really think about decluttering is that when you build the habit of, I can be content with what I have, I can have nice things and enjoy nice things too, but I can be content at the end of the day knowing that I have enough, you just start to question all those other choices you've been making for so long and why that they were even necessary in the first place. So really, at the end of the day, we are all different. Being frugal is going to look completely different to every other person on this planet, because we're in different situations of life. We have different needs. We have different things that we enjoy doing. And so that's where we're all going to look different. But at the end of the day, if you really are intentionally thinking about what you're buying and bringing into your home, if you are intentionally having conversations about the money you are spending and why, and acknowledging, if you were like me, that you might overspend because you're sad, you're happy, you're angry, you feel like you deserve it. And you can acknowledge that those are the feelings that you're going through. And you can also acknowledge, like, I have ADHD, so I'm constantly, my brain is looking for that dopamine hit because I have lower levels of that in my brain. But there are different ways to get that dopamine hit that are healthy and financially responsible. And even if it's just taking the money you would have spent on those new pair of jeans when you have 7 pairs at home and putting that money into your savings account and saying, hey, look, I'm this much closer to the trip I've always wanted to go on, or XYZ, whatever you enjoy doing. I'm this much closer to feeling financially stable because I didn't buy that item that I didn't need, and I'm going to declutter in a couple of months anyway. I hope that helps. And honestly, this was so fun to talk about because being frugal has changed for me so much over the past several years. And now it's just more about like paying attention to why I'm buying things. And whenever I'm more aware of my need to buy something, the easier it is to say no and to walk away. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun for me to make, and I hope that you guys can continue your journey learning about minimalism and decluttering. And so click on one of these videos right here, and I wish you guys all the very, very best.